If you've been following my videos, you know I'm doing some rather unorthodox training for a powerlifter. Working with some content creators on YouTube, and we're basically retooling my lifts. All of to compete in March, just to see if I can break those plateaus, the little roadblocks that I've had in competition. One of them being squat depth. It's always been a little bit of an issue. I had some hang-ups with bench. And, things like, well, all three lifts, anything can be improved. But the difference is, if I would have made those 3 attempts that I blew, my numbers would have been a lot different. It's the difference between a pretty good meet, upper 1500s, almost 1600 total, to a blowout meet where we're flirting with 1800 pounds. That's huge. That's how big a swing it could be if I can get those numbers. So this grand experiment, it's got me doing a lot of weird lifts where I'm focusing on, depth and extended range of motion and much lighter weights. When you do extended range of motion, it's a really big ego check. Just something as simple as inclining your bench a few inches. That's going to lower the amount significantly that you can bench. Things like standing on a 4-inch platform when you're deadlifting. You're going from working out with close to 600 pounds for reps to barely being able to do 5 plates. At least that's the experience that I'm having. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video is because I had an interesting conversation where I expressed this childish need that I have to go heavy. I want to throw every plate that I have in the garage on a bar and just lift. I don't know if it's for YouTube. I don't know if it's to satisfy my ego. I can tell you long before I had this YouTube channel, I was doing the same thing in the gym. Was I trying to show off to the gym members? What is it about this childish need to do something that goes against the program that you're on? It's illogical. If you've committed to the program, any program, the best thing you can do is stick with it. So where does lifting go from a habit, a healthy obsession, to addiction? Well, the definition of addiction, and I am an addict, recovering drug addict and alcoholic. I've been sober a long time, but nevertheless, the difference between a habit and an addiction is an addiction is a habit that you cannot stop despite of negative consequences. If you have a habit and you start having negative consequences, you drink, you get a DUI, or you get in a fight with your wife, or fill in the blank, you do drugs and X happens, and you find that you can't stop even if you want to, you might very well be an addict. Nobody can tell you you're an addict. You have to tell yourself that. Yeah, you're an addict. Okay? Well, I think anything can be addictive. Shopping can be addictive. Sex can be addictive. The anger can be addictive. Weightlifting can be addictive. We get addicted to that look. A lot of us. There's people throw around the term body dysmorphia quite a bit, and I think that's a clinical diagnosis. And you obviously don't want to really diagnose yourself with illnesses. That's for a doctor to do. But if you're like me, many of us struggle with body image, and once you get that good pump, you put that size on, or you're trained up for a meet and you look a certain way, after the meet, once you relax things a little bit, let your body heal, and some of that goes away. And for me, it's like, I want that look back. I want to walk around looking like I did after a workout. And it's just really tempting for me. And the other thing is the top end numbers. I've pulled 660 in competition. I want to be able to do that in the garage. And sometimes when you reset a training program, your numbers are going to go down a little bit. You're starting over essentially. So I want to go heavy. It's like I'm doing all this weird lifts, and in my mind I'm thinking, well, I'm not really going heavy for these lifts, even though it's the hardest workouts I've ever done in my life. I mean, the weights I'm working with they're nothing to brag about, but geez, this stuff is tough. So I'm thinking, well, if I'm not going heavy, how do I know I still can? I mean, it's illogical. You just don't lose strength like that. Even if I stopped training for a couple of weeks, I'm not going to just lose the strength. So why would I think that, taking a few weeks to do this kind of training is going to do the same thing? This obsession I have. I'm fighting it. I notice it's not super difficult. It's not like quitting heroin or something, it's resisting an urge, but nevertheless, it's still there. It's still telling me, screw this stupid workout, just load up the weights and just go ham. Just go for it. And I know that's ditching the program. And that doesn't help anything. If anything, it's inviting disaster, because every time you go heavy, you run the risk of injury. And a lot of the reason why I'm doing this training is to kind of bulletproof myself, because I am older for a lifter and I am prone to injury. So why would you not train smart? All these logical reasons. You can just go down the list and say, this is why I'm not going to go heavy. This is why I'm not going to go heavy. And yet, I still want to do it. They say ego lifter. They throw that around. An ego lifter is a guy that just throws a bunch of weight on and does a sloppy, ugly lift that he has no business even attempting. And he looks horrible when he's doing it, and it looks like he's going to blow his back out. And then afterwards, he slams the weights down and goes, "Ah, that's an ego lifter." I'm going to tell you right now, I am an ego lifter. Even if my form is perfect, sometimes I will go heavy even though my program doesn't call for it and there's absolutely no reason for it. And I do it probably for what are signs of addiction. A lot of times I'll see you guys do your awesome lifts and I'm thinking, I can match that, I can beat that, then I'll try. I'm not really competing with anybody. I'm not going to tell him I'm going to beat your lift, bro. But in my mind, I'm thinking, oh man, these guys are getting strong. I'm going to get left behind. I need to keep up. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, you got to keep other people out of your program if you want to be successful. There's always going to be somebody stronger. Now, it is good to kind of have friendly competition. I'm always saying steel sharpens steel. It's good to have somebody to help push you. You want to push against. And having a peer that can lift close to what you lift and is in your weight class maybe, or close to it, can sometimes be used as a Cadillac to help you, or catalyst rather, Cadillac. You can be used as a Cadillac to help you lift more. But yeah, you can be used as a catalyst to help you push yourself a little bit harder. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting topic because it's something that I'm debating in my head. I could take today off. I could do cardio. I could do 100 sensible things. But the first thing that popped into my head was, I'm going to load all my plates on a weight and just see if I can pull it. I just want to load it up. I just want to do it. See if I can squat 650 pounds. I want to see if I can deadlift 700. I want to see if I can bench 405. And the program doesn't call for that. It's going to go against my training. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's interesting. It's something that we don't talk about, but I think it's more prevalent than people would like to admit. And if we can talk about these things, if we can openly express that we have body image or self-esteem image issues like that, you get it out in the open and it becomes something that's not that bad. Waters it down. It makes it easier to deal with. It helps if you have somebody you can identify with that has the same problem you have. So you say, you know what, maybe I'm not that bad. Maybe I'm not that unusual. Maybe this is something I can work with. And that's what it's all about for me. Steel sharpens steel. That's it.